Hello everybody, it's showtime! My vegan diet almost killed me. Well, not me personally. I've personally been fully vegan for 7 years after cutting out eggs, and 12 years ago I cut out meat and the majority of dairy. So, not me. I'm also blood group O, which is, people say that it's suicide being vegan, blood group O, but I've been thriving on it, 39 years young, fully vegan for 7 years, and doing pretty good shape, but that's just me, so let's have a look at the person who says that the vegan diet almost killed her. This is an article in the New York Post which just published a couple of days ago and is really doing the rounds because it's sensationalist. My vegan diet almost killed me. Of course it's going to get a lot of views and go viral, etc. And it starts off with a picture of the lady in question, Jordan Younger, and it says, two pictures, a fit Jordan Younger today right, and at 105 pounds 2 years ago left. The former vegan now eats eggs, fish and on occasion red meat. So the one on the right says, a fit Jordan Younger today right. Well, she doesn't look fit. She's a pretty girl, she has a nice smile, but she looks slightly chubby though. She doesn't look fit for sure. On the left, yeah, she looks, it's just the pictures are different because the one on the left's her messing around their apartment, just taking like a selfie. And the one on the right is a professional photograph. So of course it kind of stands out of, oh, she must look better on the right. But I don't see any real difference in how she looks apart from she had less fat on her body on the picture on the left. And she's not smiling, and her smile really lights her up. So anyway, curled up in bed in her, let's just read through the article, shall we? Curled up in bed in their West Village apartment, shivering from cold and exhaustion, Jordan Younger tried to ignore the hunger pangs as she counted down the hours until she could have a glass of green juice. The then 23-year-old new school student, in the midst of a grueling month-long 800 calories per day juice cleanse, was truly suffering. Her lips were blue, her hair was falling out, her skin was blotchy, and she hadn't had her period in 6 months due to extreme vitamin deficiency. This sounds like a girl who is, severely calorie deficient, for sure. That's going to leave her with nutrient deficiencies. If you're calorie deficient, then you're likely also going to have nutrient deficiencies as well, and probably as well that she's eating such a small range of foods when she went on a vegan diet that she was having some other deficiencies. During that time she was busy saving face, writing her blog The Blonde Vegan, in which she perkily chronicled her strict plant-based diet after building up an impressive 70,000 followers on Instagram. So why did she build up so many followers? Well, probably not because of her extensive knowledge on diet, nutrition, health, etc. Probably because she is a pretty girl and a lot of girls want to look like her, be like her, look up to her, and then a lot of guys look at her and say, I want a bit of that, The obsession with my diet took up every waking hour, Younger, now 25, admits to the Post, speaking as her new memoir, Breaking Vegan, about how she controversially turned her back on vegan. So this is a plug for her new book. She's just written a book called Breaking Vegan. And this is a plug for her book. It is published this week. It was stopping me from leading a normal life full of social activities and other interests. And majority of long-term vegans will tell you that, being vegan does not stop you from living a full life of social activities and interests. You might not want to go to the steakhouse when all your friends are going, we're going to the steakhouse to eat steak. But then you might find a different group of friends that want to go to the a healthy food place or go somewhere where there's a lot of other options, right? The 5'4" native Californian who was never skeletal but at her lightest saw her weight drop by 25 pounds to 105 pounds recalls, I was the textbook example of an orthorexic. It's not even that light. 5'4" and 105 pounds isn't that light really, but sure, she probably had orthorexia and maybe some anorexia as well. If she was eating such a low calorie diet, etc. So orthorexia is defined as National Eating Disorders Association as a righteous fixation on healthy eating. Unlike other disorders, the focus isn't on losing pounds but on only consuming foods considered healthy such as nuts, raw fruits and veggies. Younger became vegan in her final year of college not because of ethical reasons to protect animals but after experiencing undiagnosed abdominal issues. So Jordan Younger didn't give a crap about the animals, she just didn't care about stuff like that or the environment or anything. She just wanted to fix her stomach issues. That's what she wanted to fix, right? So at the start this happened. In the beginning it was very cleansing and detoxing, and I had this rush of adrenaline and energy because my stomach problems seemed to be resolved, she says. Yes, once you cut out a lot of heavy foods and take less foods in, you do get this rush of energy. This does happen. Then she found that the natural high she'd been getting was replaced by feelings of fatigue. Her bloating and constipation issues returned, but she continued to follow the strict vegan regimen, religiously posting about it online in the blog she launched in 2013, 1 month after she graduated. Why she suddenly got her constipation and bloating issues, etc. Again, could have been many reasons. Could have been stress in her life. There's so many reasons why that could have happened. Or it just could have been whatever she's eating. Because you can be a vegan and eat crap. You can be a vegan and just eat pasta all day. You can be a vegan and eat bread all day, right? If I eat a piece of bread, I get constipation. I don't eat bread. As the months went on, she was in a catch-22. Her public profile hinged on her vegan identity, yet her choices were damaging her body. Often she felt so weak she had to work on her laptop computer from bed. Taking one yoga class would leave her drained for the whole day. This sounds like a girl who is seriously calorie deficient. Younger's turning point came in June 2014, exactly a year after she founded her blog, when she confided in a friend about her lack of menstruation, a condition medically known as amenorrhea, for at least 6 months. The pal, who had suffered from orthorexia, recommended she introduce fish into her diet. Soon afterward, Younger forced herself to eat a small portion of wild salmon, and within a week her period was restored. Why would this be? Possibly the vitamin D in the salmon, or maybe she didn't have any other source of omega fatty acids. Maybe she wasn't getting a good source of that. It's just knowledge. You can receive all those things on a vegan diet, but it's just knowledge to get it. Vitamin D is very, very important. It's the gateway to let other nutrients into the body. It's the transportation. Without vitamin D, other vitamins will not get transported to the cells. So vitamin D is very, very important, as is omega fatty acids, etc. Right? It showed me how my body was dying to get back on track, she says, adding that she instantly started feeling more energetic. A dietitian confirmed that fish and eggs would boost her poor nutrient levels. Right? And so could other foods as well, which were of a vegan nature, right? And other lifestyle choices. Refusing to lie to her fans, Younger announced on her blog the same month that she was transitioning away from veganism. That's when all hell broke loose. Her site crashed within 2 minutes and 1,000 followers instantly ditched her. Worse, she received anonymous death threats from hardcore vegans claiming she condoned the slaughter of animals and that neither she nor her family had the right to live. Yeah, well, anyone can just write crap on, I've had death threats and all sorts on YouTube and stuff like that, from whether they're vegans, whether they're meat eaters or whoever. That just stuff happens. Anyone's out there. People have a bad day at work, they can just write some crap, So it doesn't mean it's actually really going to happen, It was shocking, recalls Younger, who moved from New York back to Los Angeles around the time of the fallout. It made me realize how elitist some of the people within the vegan world could be. 16 months after her change of heart, she had the last laugh. Like it's a competition or something, she had the last laugh. She's still supporting herself by blogging, and her musings often log 350,000 page views, matching the amount that she got from the vegan blog. Her Instagram followers have doubled to 121,000. Others, however, were supportive and fully backed her when 2 months later she relaunched her blog as The Balanced Blonde, which now features a wider range in choice of tips and recipes. Yeah, it's the vegan community is quite small really compared to all the people who are actually anti-vegan. There's a bigger anti-vegan group out there than there are vegans. The whole paleo group and etc. And so once someone announces that the vegan diet didn't work for me, and then they start eating something else, all those people from all those other groups suddenly really support them and go, wow, look at this person, here's another person to prove our model of the world, right? And so, yeah, it's actually quite a clever marketing ploy. I'm not saying that Jordan Younger did this, but it's quite a clever thing to do, is to actually build up all these vegan followers saying you're vegan, and then suddenly change and switch. You might lose a few at the start, but you get a whole lot more attention as people are fighting and everything and agreeing and and you actually start to grow even bigger. I've seen it quite a few times with different people online, on social media. These days I live without a label, which is much more freeing. How spiritual of you. Explained younger, who doesn't know her current weight but considers herself a healthy size. I still eat a lot of fruits and veggies and smoothies, but also fish, eggs, and sometimes red meat. This whole thing about, I don't want to label myself as vegan, etc., etc., etc. Well, you label yourself as a female, or you label yourself as human, or you label yourself, you have to live with labels, right? If someone says, where are you from? I don't want to be from somewhere, well, that's labeling me. So no, I'm not from anywhere. No, don't ask me that question. I'm not from anywhere. I'm just free. You're filling in a form, male or female. Oh, I don't have a label. I can't write that. There's, we have to communicate through labels, right? What stance are you taking in life? Yeah, it's a very simple thing to say. Yes, I'm vegan. This stands for something, right? So that the whole thing doesn't wash with me. I don't want to live. I want to be without labels. I want to be free. She even scarfed down pizza and pasta on a recent family vacation to Italy. Right, but I eat pizza, vegan pizza, and I eat pasta, spelt pasta. Don't touch the wheat. But you can have vegan pizza. Just you don't have to have cheese on it. When I used to have pizza years ago, before I went vegan, when I was still vegetarian, the pizza used to make me feel so heavy. I see so heavy from it. It was the cheese on the pizza. Now I can eat vegan pizza. I feel light as anything. Cheese is not necessary on pizza. I'm no longer the aunt who paces the party table agonizing over whether to take a slice of her niece's birthday cake. She laughs. Now I'm all about balance. So basically she's no longer a good example to her niece. Or anyone else. And then it shows a big picture of her sticking her tongue out in a slightly sexually provocative way, about to lick some ice cream. You can get vegan ice cream, by the way, as well. So in closing, it's nice that Jordan Younger had some success at a young age, and at the same time, I don't really recommend following people of such a young age and such a little knowledge or experience or wisdom on a subject, and then just listen to everything they say and then getting upset when they change their mind. That's just immature, because how changeable are people when they're in their early 20s? Unbelievable how changeable people are. If you want to follow people and learn from people, look to people who have been doing things for a long time, getting consistent results. Yeah, it's good to support people who are just starting off, of course, but at the same time, if you want real knowledge, you got to start looking out there for the people who have been doing things for a long, long time. And if Jordan Younger just actually decided to actually expand their knowledge base and find out what was going wrong, then she could have actually made some real changes in her diet and still stayed vegan, and still been a voice for the animals, for the people, for the planet, right? But that's her choice. Okay, thanks for watching, and leave a comment below. What do you think? Give us a like and make sure you subscribe. Thank you.